And welcome inside the Robert J. Collins Arena in Lincroft, New Jersey for another edition of Brookdale Basketball here on BTV. Alongside Brian Goudsward, I am Tim Catalfamo. The season finale here at home in the Collins Arena as the Brookdale men's basketball team takes on Rockland Community College, a team that is Division II and within the Region 15 conference. So a little bit different from what Brookdale is used to playing, but the Jersey Blues looking to try to finish off the season strong here at home.
Yeah, only two more games left in the season. This is the final home game, as you mentioned, and it's been a little bit up and down lately for Brookdale, coming off a game where it wasn't one of their best defensive outings, to say the least, giving up 122 points. So they're trying to bounce back from that perspective, get the offense in gear, and, as you mentioned, finish the season on a high note.
Yeah, that game was against Union County on Thursday. They'll try to shake that off and get off to a strong start today against Rockland County College. Let's go down to the court now to get things started. Already in the Region 19 Conference Tournament. Just trying to figure out their seeding. There's a possibility they could even play here at home next Saturday if they were to win out for the rest of the season. So we're underway again. Rockland in the green uniforms with orange lettering. Brookdale, their starting five, as you heard, on the floor are Beon Wilson, Dave Calloway, Tyler Hawkins, Demir Fitch, and Alan Ozoji. For Rockland, it's Rashid Lee, Devin Lawson, Xavier Miles, Connor Parahouse, and Cameron McGrath. As that ball goes out of bounds, last touched by Brookdale, and Rockland will get the ball back.
And we heard that on the floor courtesy of a different voice doing public address, we have to note.
the perils of live television, let's put it that way, having to run upstairs, a little out of breath. As you see, going to the rim, Devin Lawson being able to lay it in, and Rockland gets on the board early on, 2-0.
Hey, I could have handled the first couple of minutes while you caught your breath, but it worked out.
What was it that Joe Buck said in his book? You should always walk really slowly when you're walking up in case you have to get on air. Well, I totally forgot about that. Rockland in the 2-3 zone. Hawkins kicks it out to Callaway. Thought about a three. And a blocking foul is called along the baseline here on the Hawks. Our officials this afternoon are Tom Fitzgerald, Harvey Dock, and Jimmy Hahn. And that foul is on Connor Parahouse. That's his first. Fitch, pull-up jumper, good. Tied up at 2. Parahouse saves it from going out of bounds. Long three for Lee is off the rim. And Callaway, one of the sophomore guards that was honored pre-game, able to bring it up for the Jersey Blues. Callaway will take a three. That's off the mark. Rebound Lawson.
Yeah, nice that both of the sophomores get the nod in the starting lineup.
Lee, another three from the corner, and this time he's able to hit it, even with a man in his face, as Callaway was not able to close out, and Rockland up by 3. Here's Hawkins, who tries to answer with a three of his own. It was halfway down the cylinder. Fitch saved it from going out of bounds. Ozoji along two, too strong. McGrath pops a three. Left it short, followed his shot, and gets it over to Lawson. Hawks will try to reset here. McGrath, nice dump into Parahouse, a little bit late on the pass, and he can't finish. Third opportunity here, and is able to be rattled in by McGrath from behind the three-point line.
Well, Rockland off to a nice start here. You know, they had a long trip to get to Brookdale from their home in New York State, but they've had fresh legs to start, good energy, and a 5-point early lead.
Wilson goes baseline and is blocked out of bounds. This will be a foul on Devin Lawson. That's his first, now the second team foul on the Hawks. Rockland is coached by first-year head coach Tom Cromer. Very well-respected coach, has an extensive 21-year coaching resume in Scholastics basketball. And I talked to him pre-game, feels very confident about this matchup as Callaway, another fire from deep. Nice feed downstairs to Powerhouse, high off the window, no, another tip-up doesn't drop. And Ozoji able to secure the rebound. Wow, Brian, Brookdale not playing all that great defensively. That was a good look, just didn't drop for Rockland.
Yeah, and Rockland has been moving the ball. They're shooting early in the shot clock, not wasting any time.
And Ozoji is fouled. Actually, no, this is going to be a foul going the other way on Brookdale. So not a very strong start, to say the least. We talked about in the open, Rockland being a Division II team. They're out of the Region 15 conference. I mentioned that they're already in postseason play. And this was a team that's come together as of late. They didn't start off the year all that well, but have really come alive as of late as Wilson denies Lawson along the post.
Yeah, Wilson and Ozoji have been Brookdale's two best in that department.
Fitch, another jumper. He's 2 for 2, and Brookdale's within 4.
And 2 for 2 from that similar spot, that mid-range game elbow extended area about 10 feet away.
Lee on the drive, got it to go with contact. And it's 10-4 Hawks. Rockland continuing to stick with this 2-3 zone. Callaway drives inside the paint, floats it up there, didn't get it to go. Into the corner for McGrath. Miles got it from the right elbow. Xavier Miles able to knock that one down, the freshman forward. And Rockland again back up by 8. Ozoji in the lane. Can't get the layup to go. Out of bounds, goes back to the Hawks. So we're seeing Brookdale, Brian, trying to get that ball inside the post to get it to Alan Ozoji, and they've gotten it to him a couple times. He just can't finish.
Yeah, and Brookdale's just having a tough time from the floor in the early going. Talked about Fitch, his 4 points accounting for all of Brookdale's scoring to this point. So they're going to have to get things going, see if Hawkins can find a rhythm offensively. He's scoreless so far, coming off a big performance his last game. And Jersey Blues, we see it very often. Them get off to slow starts, and then they find their footing. And once they do, that's when they become awfully dangerous.
Beon Wilson is checked out of the game. On the floor now for Brookdale is Clarence Celius. Very strange to see him on the floor this early on in the game, a player that usually comes off the bench. He's filled in for Wilson. Fadeaway there by McGrath. Didn't go. Rockland swinging the ball around to Lee. And it's scooped up by Celius. Brookdale with some numbers here. Hawkins going to the rim, 1-on-4. He's able to track it down. Hawkins wanted to pull the trigger on that three. There's Jelani Carter. First time we've seen him on the floor as well. Hawkins, the three from the right arc is good.
Well, right on cue, talking about Hawkins needing to get going, and there he finds his spot in rhythm on a catch and shoot and buries it.
And Lee throws it away as he was looking for McGrath. A rare turnover early on here for the Hawks, and an opportunity for Brookdale, down by 5. About 6 minutes into this first half. Celius, a little power move inside the paint, and the shot was way off the mark.
I think Celius was looking for a call. It almost appeared that shot got partially blocked because of how short it was, but they give the ball to Rockland.
Lawson nowhere to go along the baseline, and another turnover as it was thrown out of bounds. So 2 straight turnovers for Rockland. Jacob Garrison is now checked into the game. He comes in for Rashid Lee, along with Devin Lawson, who now hits the bench. And for him is Tristan Williams. Celius put it on the floor, and it's taken away by Garrison. Bounce pass goes to Williams over Callaway, an offensive foul. And we've seen Dave Callaway do that quite often this year, Brian, especially in transition. He's not afraid to take a charge.
Yeah, and that's something. It's not just the charges. It's scrambling for the loose balls. It's what I call and what's referred to in basketball as doing the dirty work. And he can chip in on the offensive end from time to time, but you need a player to make those kind of plays, and Callaway has been that guy for Brookdale.
Fitch is now 3 for 3 from around the perimeter. What a great start for the freshman from Hoboken, and Brookdale is within 3, 12-9. McGrath tries to answer, off balance from the foul line. Carter the rebound. Ooh, Callaway wanted to take that 3. Extra pass to Fitch, who's had the hot hand, and he's 4 for 4 for Demir Fitch. Brookdale's within 1.
How about this? Fitch just feeling it and igniting this rally, a 7-0 run for the Jersey Blues.
Demir Fitch hot from around the perimeter as a foul here on Brookdale will slow things down. It's the second team foul, and this will go against Clarence Celius. That's his first. Rockland needs a basket here to answer. Lawson may have gotten away with a carry. Shot clock at 12. And another foul. This will be on Brookdale, and I believe this will be on Demir Fitch. We'll double check it. It's the third team foul on the Jersey Blues, and it is the first on Fitch. So each team now 3 team fouls. McGrath, the 3. Awkward shot. He was falling down as he was trying to pull the trigger on that 3. Celius bringing it up for Brookdale. The floater, he left it short. McGrath, another three. This one he hits.
Well, Rockland is showing off their three-point shooting ability in the early going today with 3 of them from behind the arc.
And a three there for Jelani Carter. He must have heard you, Brian, because he answers right back for Brookdale, and they're within 1.
Well, he had the answer. The last home game against Rowan College, remember, he was in about the worst shooting slump you could possibly be in. He hit about 4 of them in a 6-minute stretch in the second half of that last home game. Really got things going.
Stolen away by Callaway in transition to Tyler Hawkins. The 2 sophomores hooking up, and Brookdale has got their first lead, 16-15, with a timeout called by Rockland. So it's a 30-second timeout. We'll keep it here on Brookdale TV. And how about Tyler Hawkins and Dave Callaway, the 2 sophomores that were honored pre-game for their efforts this year during the season, hooking up on that play. And after a little bit of a shaky start, Brian, Brookdale has definitely found their stride the last couple of minutes. A couple turnovers for the Hawks, and the Jersey Blues have got the lead right back.
Yeah, 12-3 run for Brookdale's. They've outscored Rockland by 9 the last couple of minutes, and you saw that Carter 3, which, by the way, was from about 3 feet behind the three-point line, as you like to call it, NBA range, and he just swished it, nothing but net. And Brookdale, you can see they're starting to find their rhythm and in front on the scoreboard now for the first time.
Brookdale 15-10 on the season, 12-8 in conference play. Rockland 7-13 overall this year, but they are a much improved team over last year. Last season they went 3-21. As along the paint, trying to get it to go off the glass, that was Williams. Can't get his shot to fall. Hawkins rather along 2, and it's scooped up by McGrath. Garrison thought about a 3. McGrath. That one's off the mark. Tipped away there by Garrison. Hawkins able to corral it, and he'll wait for the rest of his teammates to come up the floor. Carter, catch and fire. Got it.
Well, when you're feeling it, it doesn't really matter what spot you are on the floor. And we saw Carter on the other wing previously. Now he drills one from the other side.
Williams on the drive, nearly threw it away. It's taken away by Callaway. Callaway 1-on-2. No basket. They're going to wave it off. The foul was before that. Much to the disappointment of the Brookdale bench.
Well, they were all ready to get up and celebrate, and I don't know, that seemed like it should have been the benefit of the continuation for Callaway. Instead, no basket, and Brookdale forced to inbound.
Fouls on Raul Lopez. That's his first. Mark Bruce, a quick 2. And Lopez able to secure the rebound. Williams being guarded by Mark Bruce. Lawson backing down Fitch. Fadeaway over Fitch, doesn't go. Offensive rebound is blocked away from behind by Carter, but a great persistence by Williams. He puts it in, plus the foul.
Yeah, Carter getting a rare block from behind there, but Rockland able to stick with the play, and Williams trying to make it a 3-point play now.
So Williams will now be at the foul line. The sophomore guard averages around 12 points a game and usually shoots 72% from the line. Can't hit that one. Foul, by the way, was on Mark Bruce. That's his first. Adam Kukai has checked into the game. Takes the 3, and he hits it. Fresh off of the bench, Adam Kukai drains the 3.
Yeah, he's kind of been one of those guys providing instant offense off the bench. As he had 17 in the last game, one of 3 Brookdale reserves to register double figures, albeit in the losing effort.
Callaway, no-look pass, tried to get it in the Fitch. It's taken away. Lawson to Miles, a three. That one's off the mark. Kept alive here by Lawson, and he puts it in. Nine minutes to go here in the first half. Carter from Iowa City. That one doesn't go. And the rebound by Lopez.
Well, that's a few miles away, Iowa City.
Blocked away inside. Williams had an opportunity to get to the rim. There was also some contact, no call, and another turnover. As Garrison steals it away. A lot of turnovers both ways in this first half for both teams. Brookdale's a team that on average turns it over about 20 times a contest, so that's certainly not a number that they want to grow. Lawson with 8 is fouled.
Coach Chizek, they're pretty relaxed on a Saturday early start. Brookdale hasn't had many of these early matinee games. I feel like most seasons we've had a few of these weekend starts, but not this year.
And you notice the green lapel on the jacket for Coach Chizek. That's in honor of Mental Health Month. So mental health awareness. Coach Chizek trying to support that organization. And then, of course, you see Tom Cromer, his first season as head coach for Rockland, talked to him before the game, and he said the team has really been starting to gel the last couple of games, and he's very pleased how the team has come together the last several in the second half of the year. They didn't get off to a very strong start to start the 2019 season, but they have won 4 of their last 6 games, and are looking for a big win on the road this afternoon. Here's Lee left open for 3, and he drains it.
Yeah, and give them credit because at one point earlier in this year, they had lost 8 in a row, and it looked like their season was left for dead. But as you mentioned, they were able to rally, playing their best basketball when it matters most down the stretch, and got themselves in postseason play.
Hawkins, some contact there along the baseline, no call. It's taken away by Williams. Williams, the bounce pass to Lee, and he's fouled. So Rockland so far being able to keep up with the Jersey Blues. And hanging tough here in the first half as Rashid Lee, the freshman guard, will go to the line. This is not one of his strong suits, though, Brian. Foul shooting has been a struggle for him this season. Of course, as soon as I say that, he hits the first one, but he's only averaging 32% from the foul line this year. So definitely an area that he's been trying to improve upon. 1 and a 2. Offensive rebound by Williams. Can't get it to go. And Wilson able to secure the rebound. Hawkins nearly lost it. And Rockland has remained in this 2-3 zone. Carter, another 3.
Yeah, well, he's out of the shooting slump now, and you see it's just such an effortless release. It doesn't look like he puts any kind of strain whatsoever as he puts it up from long range.
Lee tries to answer from the left arc. Left it short. Hawkins runs right into Lee, and that's going to be an offensive foul. And just like that, Coach Chizak will make 2 substitutions as Mark Bruce and Tyler Hawkins, who just picked up his first foul. Team foul number 7, by the way, in the Jersey Blues. So Bruce and Hawkins check out of the game. In for both of them are Alan Ozoji and Tyrese Bryant. First time he's been on the floor this afternoon. Officials checking something at the scores table. You see Tom Cromer there. Very well-regarded coach within the area, and certainly, even though the season is not quite over just yet, has turned the program around. I mentioned the stat earlier in the game. From where they were last year, Cromer has been able to come in and has resurrected the ship, so to speak, for the Hawks. Lawson right at B on Wilson. High off the glass. Doesn't get it to go. Kukai. Reverse layup for Adam Kukai is able to roll in.
Nicely done by Kukai. Reverse style, working the baseline and gets the roll.
27-23. Brookdale leads by 4. Here's Lee. Giving it off to Lawson. Parahouse may have traveled. Everybody touching the ball in this possession, and Miles can't rattle home a 3, but the offensive rebound is put back up and in by Parahouse. Shot clock at 12. Kukai again. This layup, no good. Ozoji grabs the rebound, put it on the floor, and is fouled.
I think Ozoji may have gotten away with a travel there. Looked like he shuffled the feet. Brookdale catches a break as they'll inbound.
There's been a couple of calls on the floor, Brian, that I felt both ways have been missed in the traveling department. Wilson, and that time he did travel.
All right, then.
Coach Chizak looking on. Recently celebrated a birthday. Turned 59 years old back on January 28th. And he was in our broadcast booth actually last week, Brian.
Yes,
doing some of the women's game.
Did a fine job, I might add.
Kukai had it thrown at his feet. Carter able to recover. 5 minutes to go here in the first half. Brookdale leads by 2. Wilson double teamed. Carter from downtown, this one off the mark. Iron not being kind to Jelani Carter. Powerhouse saves it from going out of bounds. McGrath on the drive. Goes back to the Jersey Blues. So even though there have been a lot of turnovers in this first half, Brian, it has been fairly entertaining. Rockland has come to play. I think you mentioned that earlier as Ozoji is held in the paint, no shot. But they have definitely brought their effort this afternoon on the road. You mentioned the very long travel that they had to get here to the game, but they're ready to play here on a Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, not only long travel, but to get here for an early start. So they had to get up pretty early this morning, probably working on not too much sleep, but you wouldn't know it with the way they've come out.
We tipped off just after 1 p.m. Eastern time as Wilson able to get the layup to go. Going right at Connor Parahouse. Lawson. 2 Miles and a nice jumper along the baseline for Xavier Miles. 29-27. Hawks are within 2. Ozoji a 3. That's not really his spot, and a foul going the other way on Adam Kukai.
Yeah, he pushed off there trying to get the offensive rebound. Once in a while, you see Ozoji get a little too frisky and try a long-range jumper.
And Ozoji will check out of the game. And for him, Clarence Celius. Jelani Carter also goes to the bench, as Tyler Hawkins will take his spot. That's the 8th team foul on Brookdale, so this will be a 1-and-1. See Coach Chizak reminding his team of that, as that was the 2nd on Adam Kukai. Cameron McGrath at the line now. Best foul shooter on the team, hits the first. And we saw him earlier knock down a 3. He has now got 53 pointers on the season for the freshman.
Yeah, he's been their leading scorer on the year, averaging just under 17 a game and appearing in all but one of Rockland's games this year.
Tied up at 29. Hawkins for 3. Back iron, no good. Celius comes leaping in there for the rebound. And Brookdale has another possession here. Wilson stepped around his defender, but he traveled.
Now that's twice now in a short amount of time that Wilson has been victimized by a travel.
Mark Bruce will get rid of the check into the game at the next buzzer. He's making his way to the scores tables now. Lawson goes over Celius, and a block is called, so count the basket for Devin Lawson. Sophomore forward able to make a nice move and get to the rim. And for Celius, that's his second foul, team foul number 9 of the Jersey Blues. Hawks are still one away from the bonus. As Brookdale and Rockland simultaneously making substitutions. McGrath checks out of the game. In for him is Jacob Garrison. And Demir Fitch, who has started off the game very hot, 4 for 4 from around the perimeter. He checks in for Clarence Celius.
That is an unusual release he has on the free throw attempt.
Lawson only shooting 55% from the line. Almost too much of an arc there. Three minutes here in the first half remaining. Hawkins a three, and he got it. Lee was a little bit late closing out on him. Lee now tries to answer and gets that three right back from the left wing.
That's been his spot. He's hit a few of them. Catch and shoot in rhythm as Rockland swings back with the advantage.
That's a 2-point lead now for Rockland. Kukai may have been fouled, no call. Bryant left open for the three, and that's an air ball. Here's Miles into the corner. Garrison nearly had it blocked away by the much taller Demir Fitch. And it's rebounded by Bryant. Fitch in transition, can't get the layup to go. And that's the first miss. That miss actually all afternoon long for Demir Fitch. Nearly started the game 5 for 5. Shot clock is at 10. Lawson left open and banks it in off the glass.
That was just nice ball movement as you see the Hawks working hard on the offensive end. They started strong. Brookdale got back into it, had the lead, and now the latest advantage in favor of Rockland.
Under 2 minutes left here in the first half. Bruce a three. Brookdale is within one. Lawson, guarded by Fitch. Double teamed. Parahouse catch and fire. Rebound Kukai. Bounce pass in to Bryant. Out to Hawkins, the three. That's too strong. Bruce tried to tip it to himself, and Fitch is triple teamed. A jump ball is called. And Brookdale will maintain possession by virtue of the alternating hour. And a timeout is called by Rockland. This will be, I believe, a 30-second timeout for the Hawks to talk things over with 54.3 seconds to go. Brookdale down by 1, 36-35. And you have to credit Rockland. We talked about them, but Brookdale, even though they got off to a little bit of a shaky start, Brian, they have made their shots, and that has been a struggle for them at different times this year, especially making their shots from behind the arc. That's really been the story of this first half.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. And for most of the season, they've struggled from behind the three-point line. But when they get that going, they're extra dangerous because we know how good they are when they get out in transition and make things happen offensively from that standpoint. When you can add the three-pointer as a weapon like Carter has done in this game and so often this year, not his shooting slump notwithstanding, that's when Brookdale is at their best.
So out of that timeout, Brookdale has 17 to shoot on the shot clock. Kukai into the corner for Bruce. Bruce threw it away. Lee scoops it up. Lee to the basket. Can't get the layup to go. That one rolled off of the rim. Parahouse lost it off of his foot out of bounds.
And it was excellent transition defense by Hawkins. Why? Because he didn't commit a foul, but he did enough to distract the layup attempt by jumping up and down. And I think that threw off the shot attempt, and now Brookdale gets possession.
Brookdale trying to sub here very quickly before they inbound the ball. Bryant and Bruce go to the bench. Callaway and Carter have now checked into the game for the Jersey Blues. Ooh, Callaway may have gotten away with an extra step. No, he didn't. Traveled.
Very rarely do you get away with an extra step here.
Took that extra step, but it's almost like he stomped his foot, and I think that's what gave it away as he was making his way to the basket. Shot clock is at 21, a 2-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Lawson was trying to bounce it off to Parahouse, and Carter picked it up. And now Brookdale can hold for the final shot here. Down by 1. Hawkins with 3. Hawkins at the buzzer, got fouled, and he got the basket. Oh, what a shot for the sophomore. Fouled while shooting a 3, and he will go to the line to try to complete the ultra-rare 4-point play.
Oh, that was incredible. Hawkins feeling the contact, making sure he gets the shot up in the air, kind of desperation style, and gets it to fall. What a highlight to close out this half.
Hawkins can't hit the foul, and Lawson. Oh, that almost
I thought that was going to go.
Good effort. The full court prayer does not get answered this afternoon, but nonetheless, a very great way for the Jersey Blues to end the first half. They're up by 2 because of that 3 by Tyler Hawkins. Even though he wasn't able to get the 4-point play to go, which is extremely rare in college basketball, he still gets that 3, and that could be the difference momentum-wise going into the second half.
Yeah, you see that so often. You talk about how important it is to close out halves strong because the momentum in your favor as you hit the locker room and then come out to start the second half, and those kind of plays really make it important. And it's a half that's been back and forth, seesaw kind of affair, so you get that play. It's the last thing you think about before the first half. That's what you want if you're Brookdale, and they got the 3-point shooting going, and this is a tight game. It's going to be fun to watch to see who comes out on top in the end.
And it really has been a game where both teams have lived and died from behind the 3-point line, which we haven't seen Rockland play too often this year. That kind of is their style, but that's not Brookdale's style of play, but yet it's working in this first half.
Yeah, they typically want to run and gun and not defend the 3, so Rockland's been in this game. You have to give them credit. Talked about the long trip south, but they're playing. It's an evenly matched game. You knew it was going to be somewhat of a challenge for Brookdale, even though Rockland's record wasn't real strong, but it is a Division II opponent. That always poses problems, and looks like we're in for a good one.
Should be a very good one. We'll close it out in the second half when we come back here on Brookdale TV. Brookdale up by 2 here in the Collins Arena in Lincroft, New Jersey. Welcome back in the Robert J. Collins Arena here in Lincroft, New Jersey on the campus of Brookdale Community College for our season finale here at home this year for the Brookdale men's basketball team. They're squaring off against Rockland Community College this afternoon, and the Jersey Blues currently have a 38-36 lead, getting ready to start the second half. Along with the rest of our BTV crew, my broadcast partner Brian Goudsward, I am Tim Califemo, getting ready to conclude our 4th season on air together, Brian. It's been a really interesting couple of years. We've seen a lot of great games, and this one is shaping up to be a great finish to close out the 2019-2020 season.
It really is. We saw a very evenly matched first half between this Division II and Division III teams in this matchup, and looks like it's going to be a great finish as neither team really has the clear edge, it doesn't appear.
So we'll see how Rockland starts out again, down by 2. McGrath able to hit a jumper and tie it up at 38 from the left elbow. Ozoji, Carter, Callaway, Fitch, and Hawkins, the five that Brookdale opens up the second half with on the floor. Carter, another deep range three. Back iron no good. Last touched out of bounds by Devin Lawson. So it's Lawson, McGrath, Parahouse, Miles, and Lee on the floor to start the second half for Rockland. 20 to shoot. Callaway was trying to get into Ozoji. There was nothing there. Callaway with 4 to shoot. Down to 3. Carter at the buzzer. Rebounded by Lee, and then he's knocked down to the ground by Fitch. That's the third foul on Demir Fitch. Player that started out the first half very well, Brian, but now that's 3 personal fouls, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, that's a big loss because he was instrumental in the first half, going 4 of 5 from the floor, registering double-figure scoring.
Ozoji takes it away from Lawson. Carter in transition, backs it out. Hawkins, the 3. Fitch tried to follow, and he does. He missed the dunk, but he's able to get it to go through the rim on the follow-through.
How about that? Fitch just coming flying in out of nowhere. It was still a highlight. It could have been more if he cleanly put it in on the dunk. It's not often that you see getting the roll on a dunk, so to speak, but it works for Fitch on the scoreboard just as well.
And on the N1 from the line, he just barely grazes the rim. Foul was on Xavier Miles. That's his second. Lee a 3, and it's good. Rashid Lee from the top of the key, his 26th made 3 of the season. And it's Rockland now back up by 1. Ozoji off the mark from the left elbow. And another foul here on Fitch. Wow, so that's 2 quick fouls on Demir Fitch, and that's his 4th, Brian.
Yeah, and that's really problematic for Brookdale. He's forced to go to the bench and probably won't be able to come in until the late stages of this half, and it's just a shame because of how strong a performance he's had for Brookdale, and now it takes their number 1 weapon, at least in this game, off the floor.
Rockland by 1. Scooped up by Hawkins. Callaway down in the backcourt. Hawkins a spin move, and he lays it in. That's definitely one for the highlight reel. Look at that move. And a foul here at midcourt as Devin Lawson was tripped up as he was trying to go towards the rim. Looking to see who this will be on. Looks like it will be on Tyler Hawkins. That's his second. Team foul number 3 here for the Jersey Blues. Officials just making sure the paint is all clean, as there were several players that had hit the deck. Here's Powerhouse. Shot clock at 10 here for the Hawks. Lawson one-on-one with Wilson. To the rim. Powerhouse tips it in as he's able to follow the shot. And again, it's Rockland now leading 43-42. Hawkins, a floater off the mark. Not a very good shot. He was off balance and really hadn't set his feet. Hawkins is fouled in the backcourt. This is going to be on Jacob Kusi-Mauleon. That's his first, and he will check out of the game. For Rockland, back in for the Hawks is Cameron McGrath. So a slow start to this second half for both teams. A lot of fouls and quite a bit of turnovers to get things started. Callaway left open for three, rims out, and Wilson is fouled as he was trying to put it in.
Wilson got hit from behind there, trying to go for that putback all in one motion, and Rockland will make him earn it at the line.
So Beon Wilson, who's been fairly quiet in this game, comes off of a 25-point game versus UConn at Avery Point back on January 26th. Foul shooting has not been his strong suit. As you see, he missed the first one. Second one on the way is good. So 1 out of 2, and we're tied up at 43. Miles. Into the corner for Lawson. Goes right around Carter and nearly scores the basket, but Ozoji was able to make enough contact to deny him that shot. Hawkins on the drive. Didn't hit the rim, gets his own rebound and puts it up and in. And Brookdale regains the lead, 45-43. 4 minutes into the second half. McGrath around the screen. The three is good. Cameron McGrath has been dangerous from behind the three-point line, and he gives Rockland a 1-point lead.
Yeah, the Hawks continuing to show off their ability to shoot it from three-point range. That wasn't necessarily something they were great at, as you see Callaway drill that one. But in this game, they've been able to match Brookdale from behind the arc.
Callaway gives Brookdale a 2-point lead, 48-46. Miles tees up for a triple. Rebound Carter. Hawkins, I don't know if he was trying to bounce it behind his legs to Carter or if he was just trying to show off. Shot clock at 18. And Carter was trying to get over to Wilson, who wasn't ready for it. Another turnover there for the Jersey Blues.
Yeah, Hawkins we see once in a while. He gets a little fancy with his handling moves.
Lee rims out on the three. He'll stay here with 19 to shoot. There have been so many three-pointers in this game on both teams. A lot of attempts. Brookdale has made their shots, but I've been more so impressed, Brian, by Rockland, really able to knock their shots down from behind the three-point line. That's really what's kept them in this game.
Yeah, it has. And right from the outset, they established their ability to shoot. It came in low 30 percentage points in shooting the three-pointer, but that's been a different story today.
Yeah, Rockland averages around 70 points a game. Brookdale a few better than that at 77. But neither team really known for their three-point shooting, so it's been a surprise here on this Saturday afternoon. Hawkins guarded by Garrison. Great defense. Hawkins stays with it and is blocked away by Parahouse. And that one just a little bit too far of a lead for Williams. Adam Kukai will check into the game. As Tyler Hawkins will take a break on the bench. It's Ozoji, Callaway, Kukai, Beon Wilson, and Jelani Carter on the floor. McGrath, Parahouse, Lawson, Garrison, and Williams for the Hawks. And Wilson threw it away as Callaway was not ready for the pass. And at the other end, Williams tried to lay it in, but they'll call a goaltending on that one as Beon Wilson knocked it away.
Yeah, that was close. You can't make contact with the ball once it has already made contact with the glass. And in the officials' estimation, that was already on the backboard as Wilson knocked it away.
Our officials this afternoon again, Tom Fitzgerald, Harvey Dock, and Jimmy Hahn. Ozoji has it ripped out of his hands by Williams, and now a foul here on the freshman. Coach Cromer, on the sidelines looking on. That was the second foul on Alan Ozoji. Lawson may have gotten away with wrapping his arm around Jelani Carter, and in the lane, Rockland Valley able to convert. 50-48, Hawks by 2. Carter. Callaway nearly threw it away. Wilson. Callaway the fadeaway jumper. And a foul from behind on Jelani Carter.
So that was a very disjointed
I'll
possession
say.
there. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. And Carter, I don't think, liked the foul call, but he nonetheless is called for pushing off, and so possession with the Hawks.
That's the first foul on Carter, now the 5th team foul on the Jersey Blues. Williams on the drive, lost it. Kukai to Callaway. On the drive, to the rim, what a move by Dave Callaway. We're tied up at 50.
And Callaway making his mark on sophomore day here at the Collins Arena.
Coach Cromer will take a timeout. It'll be a full timeout on the floor. We'll take a break. 12:48 remaining here in the second half. All tied up at 50 in the season finale here at home. 12:48 to play here in the second half. Brookdale and Rockland Community College, I should say, tied up at 50 here on Brookdale TV. Live this afternoon in the Collins Arena. Rockland looking to pick up their 8th win of the season. This would be a huge one on the road if they could steal it away from the Jersey Blues, who have played well but have shown signs of weakness, especially a lot of turnovers and foul trouble has plagued the Jersey Blues. Brookdale on a fast break here, another turnover, as Callaway could not get it over to Kukai. Out of the timeout, McGrath chucks up a 3. Williams goes over Callaway, who hit the deck hard, and that's an offensive foul. Dave Callaway not afraid to take some contact in the paint. That's the second charge he has taken this afternoon.
Yeah, that was a different kind of charge. Normally, you see the feeder's set and you just go down straight backwards. That time he just took hard contact right to the chops.
Well, Williams did kind of lean into him a little bit, and again, anytime you lower that shoulder, that's an easy call for the official. Shot clock at 15, or Callaway rather, trying to get it into 3 different defenders, and another offensive foul on Williams again. That's his 3rd. And Callaway right on cue in the same position, able to draw the charge.
I think Brookdale feeling the effects somewhat of Fitch being on the bench because of how good he's been in this game, but 4 personal fouls, not forced to sit out for a good stretch of action here in the second half.
Yeah, he started out the game 4 for 4. Was red hot from around the perimeter. Actually really kind of got, as you mentioned, Brian, Brookdale started early on in the first half. But I don't expect to see Fitch for at least another 10 minutes of play. Another turnover. Garrison with the steal. Lawson to McGrath, who saves it from going out of bounds. It's blocked away from behind by Ozoji. Callaway, a step-back 3. He got it.
Well, we talk about Callaway doing a lot of the dirty work, but today he's stepped up and been a key on the offensive side. That's his second 3 here in the half, and he had that nice running layup as well.
Callaway looking strong here on sophomore day. Remember, he and Tyler Hawkins were honored pre-game. Lawson, the answer from the corner.
Well, there's Lawson with that unorthodox release that we spotted on his free throw attempt, and that's just how he shoots the ball. But hey, if he gets him to fall like that, it works just fine.
Ozoji, the one-hand slam.
Talk about a big, monstrous finish that time from Ozoji. Wow.
Parahouse as Rockland just a bit out of position here on this possession. Here's Lawson again into the corner for Miles. Shot clock at 7. Garrison finds Lawson. Tough spot and a tough shot, but he's able to force it in. And back and forth we go. Tied up at 55, 10.5 to play here in the second half. Carter, the runner in the lane. That one doesn't go. Defensive rebound, I should say, corralled by Parahouse. Connor Parahouse, a 3.
Well, that's how Rockland's been able to stay in this game and now have the advantage on the scoreboard as they continue to be very efficient on their three-point attempts.
Ozoji, a step-back 3, and he hits that one as well. All the offense in this game has really come from behind the three-point line. Neither team three-point shooting teams by any stretch of the imagination. You wouldn't know it if you just watch this game. Shooting percentages from behind the arc have been incredible as Lawson took an extra step. And a bunch of players checking in here for both teams. Lawson and Garrison go to the bench. Lee and looks like that's Williams who checked into the game for the Hawks. Coach Chizak looking on. He just put in Tyler Hawkins and Demir Fitch, who's playing with 4 fouls. Carter on the drive and laid it in somehow. Acrobatic move by Jelani Carter. 2-point game, 9 minutes to play. Parahouse was stripped, but a foul. And who is this going to be on? Fitch was in the vicinity. They'll call it on Carter instead. That's only his second. Parahouse wide open from the corner. Back iron no good. But an offensive rebound, I should say, by Lee keeps it alive here for Rockland. McGrath, a deep 3. Hawkins brings it up the floor. Ran right into McGrath. Fitch with 4 fouls. Cross-court pass to Wilson, who's bumped. That'll be on Connor Parahouse, the sophomore forward. That's his second. Devin Lawson back into the game very quickly. And Raul Lopez also on the floor now for Rockland. .21 to shoot here for Brookdale. Up by 2. Callaway a 3. That one rims out halfway down the cylinder for Dave Callaway. Little layup there by Williams, left it short. Hawkins extended the arm there. Wilson, an offensive foul on Tyler Hawkins, who went over Lee. Well, offensive charges being taken and three-point shooting have been the storyline here in the second half. That's the 3rd foul on Tyler Hawkins.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing to point out is the foul trouble. Talked about Fitch, but now with Hawkins, he's starting to become in that perilous area with 3 personals.
And keep in mind, something interesting for Rockland, they're a team that doesn't commit on average too many fouls. They only average around 11 team fouls a game. They're right at that threshold now, adding up what they had in the first half to what they have now here in the second. Another foul here on Brookdale, and this might be on Tyler Hawkins. That would be his fourth.
I think that's the indication, and so he's probably forced to sit now, not after this free throw attempt. Yep, Carter's getting set to check in, and it's going to be for Hawkins.
And the problem for Coach Chizak now is who do you put in? Because Fitch is already on the floor with 4 fouls. You've lost now your point guard, Tyler Hawkins, for the moment with 4 fouls. And for those of you that might be wondering at home, again, you can play with 4 fouls, but with 7:35 to go, a lot of basketball still left. You don't want to run the risk of picking up your 5th and final foul. And Coach Chizak will make the decision to put Tyler Hawkins on the bench for now. Still a 2-point lead for the Jersey Blues. Kukai on the drive. He'll go to the line for 2. Foul will be on Xavier Miles. That's his 3rd. So that stat I mentioned a moment ago about Rockland only averaging around 11 team fouls, they've surpassed that now. They have 12 by my count total in this game, 7 in this second half. As Miles checks out of the game, you see Coach Chizak there looking on. Kukai's second attempt is good, so 1 out of 2 from the line for the 6'1 freshman from Staten Island. And Brookdale now clutches a 3-point lead, blocked away from behind by Kukai, as McGrath was trying to get an easy layup. And a foul here along the perimeter, right by the 3-point line on Lee.
And now the fouls are really piling up. I feel like we got off to a start where there weren't too many of them in the first half, but now each side has committed 8 here, and still plenty of time left. This game a long way from being over.
And Brookdale as a whole, not a great foul line shooting team, only 62% overall. Callaway was waiting to be high five. There's no one there from behind. Oh well.
Left him hanging.
Yeah, you can't do that to your teammate. Makes 1 of the 2. Callaway, who played 11 games as a freshman at Monmouth University. His father, Dave, was the head coach at Monmouth from 1998 to 2011. He took that team to 5 NCAA tournaments.
A quick note on Monmouth. I saw recently they're going to be playing North Carolina at home next season in December.
Well, that ought to be a packed house. North Carolina travels pretty well. Kukai, give and go to Wilson, too strong. Too much of a lob for that pass, and Lee takes it away. The runner for Lee is off the mark. So it was too strong off the back rim. Callaway goes right over Lawson. That's an easy call, an offensive foul.
Well, we saw in the previous possession, Brookdale try the alley-oop. Looks like Callaway might be a little bit gimpy here, but he's all right. It's Brookdale trying the alley-oop, and who would have been on the receiving end? Beyond Wilson, because, of course, he's Mr. Alley-oop.
Well, we've seen that play several times this season. Not on the same page that time, but Brookdale has a 4-point lead, 62-58, 6:26 remaining here in the second half. Full timeout on the floor. 6:26 to go here in the second half. Brookdale with a 4-point lead over Rockland Community College, 62-58. Alongside Brian Goudsworth, I am Tim Catalfamo here in the Collins Arena on this Saturday afternoon. We want to thank you for joining us and watching on Comcast Channel 21, Verizon Fios Channel 46, and streaming live online on our YouTube channel at Brookdale TV. A little bit of work to do left for the Hawks. Down by 4. They've certainly shown the ability to be able to put points on the board. But foul trouble, especially for the Hawks, which is uncharacteristic of them. I talked about that a moment ago. Here in this second half, and a lot of turnovers have allowed Brookdale to slowly pull away to a 4-point lead. Lee the offensive rebound and the lay-in. Hawkins. Little fadeaway J there, and he gets it to go.
Yeah, nice job there working against McGrath. He did all he could defensively. Hawkins, though, knew what he was doing on the little fade and gets it to go.
Williams has it denied by Kukai. Hawkins, little contact there with Lee, no call. Carter from downtown. Tapped out, saved by Wilson, who lost it out of bounds. Williams. Little handoff to McGrath. 8 on the shot clock. Williams, the triple. Rebound Carter. Great box out job by Carter, blocking out Parahouse. And Fitch traveled.
Well, Fitch has to be careful now on the floor with those 4 personal fouls. Turns it over that time.
Yeah, Brookdale with 2 players on the floor with 4 fouls. Fitch the one and Hawkins the other. Brookdale, though, doesn't really have much of a choice. They have to keep those players on the floor. 2 of their starting 5. Miles. Brookdale has stuck with this man-to-man defense all game. Lawson, dump off to Parahouse, and the nice layup as Carter was late coming over.
Rockland will not go away in this game, a 2-point game here, final 4.5 minutes.
2-3 zone being shown here by the Hawks. They've remained in that defense all game, and Lee comes up with a steal. Lawson in transition, threw it away. Kukai, Hawkins, another fadeaway, and he knocks it down. That's been his spot, and Tyler Hawkins puts Brookdale up by 4. Lee, too strong on the 3 from the left arc. Fitch and Kukai ran right into each other trying to grab the rebound. Lee in the Fitch. Great ball movement. Carter, though, can't finish at the rim. Lawson, a 3. Hung in the air, seemed like forever, and Carter is able to track down the rebound. Lawson has one of those really high arcing shots. And Carter is fouled. This will be on Connor Parahouse. It's the 9th team foul on the Hawks and the 3rd on Parahouse. Beyond Wilson checks out of the game. In for him, Tyrese Bryant, number 14. And Jelani Carter, the 6'5 freshman from Hackensack, New Jersey. He's been a great three-point shooter this season. We've seen him shoot the lights out from behind the three-point line at different times. Is nearly perfect from the foul line. Comes into this game shooting 90%. And he hits the first.
Yeah, and an area that Brookdale has struggled all season that we've talked about throughout the year, shooting under 60% from the line. Carter, the one constant, the one you can rely on, shooting at a 90% clip.
And he makes them both. And a whistle and a timeout will be taken by Coach Chizak. This will be I believe, a 30-second timeout for the Jersey Blues. Up by 6, 68-62. Gives us a chance to catch up on the latest games for both of these two teams. Rockland, as you see them huddling with Coach Cromer, just came off of a conference win against Ulster County on Thursday night. They won that game 80-76. They shot 49% from around the floor in that game. Connor Parahouse had 20 points, 9 rebounds to lead the team. On the other side for Brookdale, they had a very impressive win against CC of Philadelphia, a team that's ranked inside the top 15 nationally in the NJCAA polls. They beat Philly on the road on Tuesday night, 73-71. A lot of whistles being blown on the floor, making me lose my concentration, Tom. Come on. Anyway, so they beat Philadelphia 73-71 on the road, but they lost to Union County, a conference rival, on Thursday night, 122-99. That is the most points Brookdale has given up all season, and the most, consequently, they have scored in a game. Just wasn't really the best effort playing up at the Owl's Nest up there in Cranford.
Yeah, I would bet that they haven't given up that number of points in a long time. I mean, Paul Chizek's entire run, which is 28 years, I'd be surprised if it were more than 5 times that happened, because he's so committed on the defensive side, and you've seen Brookdale with something of a bounce-back performance today.
And a whistle here in the post. This is going to be on Connor Powerhouse, and that's his 5th foul, so he has fouled out of the game. Could possibly be the first of many players to foul out in this matchup. We still have basically 3 minutes left. Fitch at the line, hits the first. Brookdale now leads 69-62. In the last couple of minutes, it's been slow and it's sometimes painful, but Brookdale has been able to slowly pull away. And right now they're at one of their largest leads that we've seen them really all game at 8.
Yeah, they've kind of pulled away lately here. I think it's a 6-0 run to go up by their largest margin at 8 points. We'll see if Rockland, who's always been able to have the answer in this game, do they have one last gasp in them?
They've always seemed to be able to answer back whenever Brookdale has been able to go on a run. It's primarily come from behind the 3-point line. But now the question is, like you said, Brian, can they somehow come up with an answer? Williams double team, dangerous spot for him to be in, dribbles his way out of it, gets it over to Lee, the 3, he got it! A crucial shot for Lee from the right wing, and Rockland is within 5.
You talk about them needing something to stay in it, and that's exactly it. Another 3-pointer, and they're within 5.
Hawkins with 4 fouls, being guarded by Lee. Jab steps to gets around Lee. Floater off of the glass and in for Tyler Hawkins.
Just an outstanding job of creating space with that step back. The little stop-and-go drive and banking it in, beautifully done.
Lawson on the drive, threw it up there, and a whistle. This will be a foul on the floor as Williams was able to grab the rebound. And this will be on Demir Fitch, so he is now fouled out of the game. Mentioned a moment ago, could be the first of many to foul out. Brookdale will lose Demir Fitch with 1:53 left here in the game. As Mateo Del Moro, the 6-foot freshman, will check into the game. We have not seen him really play that much this season, but he comes in at a very critical time. As Tristan Williams at the line rattles in the first one from the charity stripe. These are some crucial baskets also at the line now for Rockland, being down 72-66 now. Hits them both.
Now they got press on in the back court. See if Brookdale beats it, and they do.
Can't turn it over here. Callaway nearly on the baseline, and it was last touched out of bounds by Rockland. Coach Chizak pointing to the game clock, trying to keep his team aware that they have a 5-point lead. Callaway off of the backboard. That was a weird inbounds play, and that will count as a turnover. It goes back to Rockland.
Yeah, I think it got the shot clock. I mean, that you don't see very often.
That's a critical turnover.
Shot clock is not an eligible player.
Rockland could use this opportunity to capitalize and further cut into the Brookdale lead. Lawson on the charge. Tough shot, doesn't fall. Rebound scooped up by Bryant. Hawkins missed the dunk. Del Moro for three. Brookdale bench was about to explode, but Rockland still has an opportunity here, and the Hawks get a timeout. Wow. Brookdale not being very conscientious of the clock, and with 1:13 to go, Rockland will have the ball down by 5, trying to pull themselves back into the game. We'll take a break. Brookdale leads 72-67 here on BTV. Back here in the Collins Arena, 1:13 to play. Brookdale leads by 5, but as we were just talking about during the timeout, Brian, not very good clock management the last couple of possessions. Brookdale has blown some opportunities at the rim, and now Rockland, only down by 5 with the ball here, has an opportunity to make this a really close game.
Yeah, they didn't use enough clock. Hawkins was going for the highlight instead, missed the dunk. Wound up getting another good look in the corner there with Del Moro, but came up empty, and now forced to defend on the other end of the floor and hope to get a stop and close this one out in the final minute and change.
Miles to inbound. Lawson, that's an offensive foul. He pushed off on Tyrese Bryant.
I'll tell you, it didn't really look like there was a whole lot there from Lawson to warrant an offensive foul in a critical spot. That is just a killer turnover.
Carter's got to get the ball in play. He gets it into Hawkins, and Hawkins is fouled immediately.
And this is very early that Rockland is fouling intentionally. Still over a minute. You'd think you'd be best served to let the clock wind and hope you get a stop, but instead they're going to stop it early.
That's the third foul on Rashid Lee. There'll be 2 foul shots the rest of the way. Both teams are in the double bonus. Hawkins, the 6'4" sophomore from Tinton Falls, can't hit the first attempt. This has not been a great area for him this season as Jacob Garrison checks into the game. Tristan Williams, who just picked up his 3rd foul, or pardon me, that was Rashid Lee. Williams goes out of the game with 2 fouls. Hawkins, 1 of the 2. 73-67, 1:08 to play. Brookdale definitely does not want to foul and put Rockland at the line. Lawson on the drive, right at Bryant, had it blocked away. Ball also hit the bottom part of the rim. Hawks choosing not to foul. Del Moro nearly turned it over. McGrath tried to get it to Lawson. It's tipped away by Callaway. Rockland still not fouling. They come up with another turnover. Lee the 3. Too strong. Rebound Hawkins. And Hawkins finally is fouled. What a wild couple of possessions that was.
Wild indeed, because Brookdale just a little bit out of control, moving way too fast when what you want to do is just eat clock. Hawkins with a very ill-advised behind-the-back pass that got picked off. Fortunately, though, for Brookdale, Rockland unable to cash in because they had multiple opportunities, and now Brookdale can pretty much ice it if they make their free throws in the final half minute.
Yeah, the Hawks definitely had their opportunities. And now it all comes down to whether or not Tyler Hawkins can make a couple of foul shots. First one is good. It's now 74-67. 7-point lead. Rockland does have one more timeout remaining. Missed the second. Lawson the rebound. Rockland's got to hurry here. They don't have much time to work with. Garrison, McGrath taking a lot of time. Miles a 3. Rebound Hawkins, and this just might do it. Del Moro the crossover and the layup.
And the Brookdale bench loves it. Del Moro getting in on the action.
First points that Del Moro, I believe, has had all season. Garrison a three. It's good from the corner. Too little, too late. And Brookdale will pull out a huge win here at home after a late scare from Rockland that definitely performed well and had their opportunities down the stretch, just could not quite close it out. Brookdale wins 76-70. And, you know, Brian, looking back at this game, this was one that really kind of went back and forth for the majority of the time. Brookdale kind of established themselves late in the second half, but then they turned the ball over. They ran into some foul trouble, and they left the door wide open for Rockland. Rockland couldn't make their shots, though, and I think that was the difference in the game.
Yeah, and Brookdale kind of pulled away late, and it wasn't the cleanest effort from the Jersey Blues in this game. A lot of turnovers on both sides. As you mentioned, they left the door open. Rockland, if they were able to make a couple of threes there down the stretch, something that they did a lot early in the game, this could have went right down to the wire. Instead, though, Brookdale, despite some sloppy play, did enough down the stretch, made enough free throws, got enough stops on the defensive end, and close out their home schedule with a victory.
And, of course, this is the final game of the year. So, Brian, overall, we know that Brookdale still has one more game to play. They'll go on the road to play Camden County College. Ironically enough, the team that they opened up their season with here at home back in November. That'll be on Tuesday to close out the regular season. But overall, final thoughts on the regular season with this team as a whole going into postseason play?
Yeah, it was a little bit more of an up and down season than what we're used to from Brookdale. Normally we're used to them cruising, clicking on all cylinders throughout the season. This, it took a little bit more work, and they didn't really quite have the flow offensively. They didn't have enough guys chip in with double-figure scoring throughout the year, but still it was this system that Paul Chizek has in place. It was good enough to make things work, lead to another winning year, and get this team to the playoffs. And I think the key is just to keep getting more contributions from different players. It's not just the starters, but guys like Adam Kukai, he started to find a role off the bench. Keep getting Jelani Carter going from behind the arc. That's a big difference maker if he has his threes. And, of course, Hawkins coming over the second half of the year made a big difference for this team offensively, and you figure he will lead the way going forward. But, look, this team gets into the postseason. They're always dangerous, always capable of making a run, and it'll be interesting to see how far they can go.
So that's going to wrap up our regular season of coverage here from the Collins Arena, both men's and women's basketball this season. And, of course, I mentioned Brian Gadsden and I wrapping up our fourth year together, so it's always been a pleasure, and it's been really a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been really fun for all of us. Thanks to our whole crew all season long for doing what they do and allowing these games to go on the air. I've had a blast.
Yeah, our whole crew does a fantastic job, and of course we want to thank you for listening and watching as always. So for Brian Goudsworth, I am Tim Catalfamo. Brookdale wraps up their regular season here at home, taking the win against Rockland Community College 76-70. From the Robert J. Collins Arena in Lincroft, New Jersey, have a great rest of your Saturday afternoon.